Hello guys, and welcome to the 15th video of the HTML tutorial series. In this video we will be talking about tables. So I want you to go ahead, delete the picture element, change this to HTML tables, and this as well. And in this video we're going to be talking about tables. Okay, save everything and you're ready to go. Refresh this. Perfect. Okay, so what exactly is a table? Is it like that kind of table? The table where we got some bowls and cups? No, it is not. An HTML table is a table full of data. Okay? It consists of the actual table, the full table layout, the headers, and the data. Okay, let me draw this real quick. Blah blah blah. Yep, you get my point. Here is more data. Okay, so this is the table, the full HTML table. The table has several columns. Let's say for now that we got 3 columns. I know I'm the best painter in the world. The first line is the header line, and all the other lines are the data lines. Actually, these are not called lines, they're called rows in HTML, but sometimes I do call them lines. I'm sorry. Okay, so how do you define a table? First of all, you have to type in table. After you type in table, you have to add rows. Okay? A table row is defined by tr. Okay? Now, inside each row, you have to either add, let me copy this, you have to either add a table header, or maybe a couple, let's say, or some table data. Okay, so the table header is the first row of its column. Okay, let's say for example this drawing has 3 columns, and all the rest rows contain data. Okay, so let's say we got names and surnames of people, and let's say we got a guy and a girl. For now, the guy is going to be named Don, let's say Adams, and Kate, let's say Upton, or whatever. Go ahead and save this. What you get is this table right here. These two are the table headers. This is the first table data or cell. Okay, this right here. And give me a second, sorry. This is the second one. Okay, we define tables row by row. So first we define the first row with all the cells, all the table data, okay, one by one. This is the first row. Actually, this is the second row, because the first row defines the headers of each column, okay. And then for the second row, here is the first the cell of the first column, and here is the cell of the second column. Okay, and here they are. First row, second row, first cell of the second row, I mean first column of the second row, and this is the second column on the second row, etc. Okay, let's go ahead and create one more line, and let's call it numbers. Okay, go ahead, save and refresh. What just happened? Why do we not have any data on the last column? This is because we did not add any cells for it on the second or the third row. Okay, so let me explain a little bit more. Which color is the best? Let's choose green. Okay, this right here represents the first row. Let me switch to blue now. The table header numbers appears as this word over here, and it is on the third column. Okay, now John Adams has a couple entries, but the third entry is missing. If we now add a third entry, it will go here. If we actually add a fourth entry, it will appear here with a missing header. So let's go ahead, add a number, let's say 555 999 888. Okay, save, refresh. Here you have it. Okay, and now go ahead, add another number, let's say this time 342 999 333 444. Delete this, save and refresh. Here it is. Okay, let me draw it for you. John goes here, Adams goes here, the first goes here, and the last goes here. It does not matter how many cells are missing from the other rows, okay? Because HTML tables, the dimensions of the HTML tables are defined by the maximum number of both rows of columns. Okay, rows are defined one by one here. The number of columns that an HTML table has is defined by the row with the maximum number of cells, which represent actual column cells as well. Let's go ahead and add a couple of phone numbers for Kate Upham. Let's go for 555 999 777, and let's, oh come on, let's say this is 888 and 222. Okay, now let's add one more person, actually a couple more. Let's call this one Jacob. Come on, Jacob. How should I call him? Let's go for Underhill. And actually, I'm gonna go for Napoleon Hill, which is the author of my favorite book, Think and Grow Rich. give him some numbers, and here let's go for Teresa. Let's say Adams as well. Add some number and the second number, save, refresh, and there you have all your data. Okay, but what if Teresa Adams had no let's say second number? Okay, let's say this was missing. Well, the cell would just go missing and there would be absolutely no problem. Okay, now you're gonna ask me, why isn't there a border on the table? I mean, this can be confusing to read if you know there's too much data or whatever. Well, we would have to add some CSS for this, because by default HTML tables have no border. Okay, in order to add border to a table, just type in table in our CSS file, or you could also do it directly here, but you really want to be using the CSS file, and I'm gonna tell you why. Either do it here or here. I'm gonna do it in the external CSS file since it is linked to our HTML file. Okay, go ahead. You probably already know how to add border somewhere. You just type in border, and let's go for 1 pixel solid navy, which is dark blue, and refresh. I'm sorry. Okay, now our table has a border. Here it is. You can see a dark blue line, but you're gonna tell me you did not want that kind of border. This will not help you read multiple data. Okay, it's still hard to read. Okay, but don't forget, the browser will display exactly what you tell it to display. Okay, you did not tell the browser to display a border around the table headers or the table data. You just told the browser to display a border around the full table. Okay, so you have probably guessed what you have to do. You have to add border to the table headers and the table data. The reason I told you should do it here or in the style block and not here using style is that you can have the same CSS attribute for multiple different elements. For example, let's go for table headers only. If you save, go here and refresh, then you actually get borders on the table headers. If you only did table data, saved and refreshed, you would only get borders on the table data. Since you want to be doing both, you just include both of them alongside with the table. Okay, and all three get the same styling, just a 1 pixel wide border in a navy blue color. Okay, so moving on. Why is there a freaking space between the borders? I mean, why do I get this space here? I do not want any space. I want them to stick together, to collide as one. I want them to unite. Why is this border here? It's freaking annoying. Okay, CSS once more has you covered, because there's another property which is called border collapse. Go here, type border collapse, save, refresh, and there you have it. So what does border collapse do? Previously we had a space, okay, because the borders of the table, the headers, and the data are truly individual. Border collapse, what border collapse does is to actually unite them into one, so that you cannot tell the difference. And it can be really helpful to display data like this. Okay? So, moving on. Let's say that you want some space between the data and the border. You're gonna tell me in the actual size, which is this 100%. This can make the data a little hard to read, maybe. Okay, no problem, say CSS. I got you covered this time too. Because just like in any other element, you can add some padding. Of course, you do not want any padding for the actual table. You only want padding for the table headers and the table data. So go ahead, add padding, and let's say 30 pixels. Save, refresh, and there you have it. A 30 pixels padding for every single header or data cell. Okay, so far you know how to add tables, how to add rows to a table, how to add a header or data, and then you learned how to add border, how to make the border collapse, and now how to add padding. Now, before we stop this video and move on to the next one, because we will be needing one more video about the tables, we're gonna go ahead and learn about text alignment. Okay? By default, table headers are aligned in the middle of a cell, and table data is aligned on the left of the cell. Okay? Middle for the headers and left for the data. But what if you wanted, let's say you wanted the headers on the right and the data in the middle. Just like here with the heading 1, we can use text align. Okay? So, since we want to be doing different alignment for the headers and the table data, we would have to mention them separately. Go ahead and type in text align, and did we say right for the header? Let's save and refresh and see if this goes to the right. Voila, they did stick to the right, but as you can see, they will still respect the padding around them. Okay, there's a 30 pixel padding, don't forget, and they have to respect it. This is as left as this can go. Okay, they will always respect the padding. Let's go ahead and do the same for the data. Okay, this is Th and this is Td. Go ahead and type in center, save, refresh, and now you can see all the table data is displayed exactly in the center of its cell. Okay, that was it, guys. In the next lesson we're going to go deeper into tables and talk more about them. So thank you so much guys for watching. Do not forget to subscribe and see you on the next video.